Hey, how you doing? My name is Boyan Levjev and I am a full-stack React web developer. And I really love to code. So I was recently tasked with creating a simple project using the Froala What You See Is What You Get editor developed by Froala Inc. The editor is a JavaScript package that you can just add to your project, and you can have a fully fledged text editing software in your web browser, a bit like Google Docs. The project that I ended up creating was a simple collaborative tool for teams that essentially allows you to throw up an image and annotate it on a whiteboard, and then a team member open on the same session on another computer would immediately get that image and that annotation on his screen, and this way you could brainstorm together. What I essentially implemented was the ability to double click on the screen, which would add a new item, and every new item would be a new instance of the Froala Editor. This might seem like a bit of a heavy-handed approach, but the Froala Editor actually has a very light footprint. The package is only 50 kilobytes large, making it one of the most efficient text editors out there. And of course, I thought long and hard about what to name this project. It was a bit difficult, but I thought, maybe it's a whiteboard and it's powered by the Froala Editor, so it could be maybe the Froala Whiteboard. You can find a link to the website down in the description below if you want to play around with it and see what it's actually like. I've also written a series of articles on Medium that walk you through the entire process of building this whiteboard. The series involves creating a content delivery network, building a backend with which to communicate with an API, building a NoSQL database using Firebase, and then hosting all of that online so that you can show all of your friends and all of your coworkers your own whiteboard. You will find links to each article down in the description below. Now, I'm personally using the Froala React component, which is dead simple to use. You just add it to the project using npm install or yarn add, then import it at the top of the project, and then add the component to the render function, and that's it. It's up and running. You're done. It then goes quite in depth with the amount of customization you can achieve with this. You can see the documentation online. For the purposes of my project, I had to add a variety of new buttons, which are actually included as plugins in the Froala Editor. You just have to pop them in at the top, and then you have the ability to add images, add videos, upload files. I also make the toolbar inline so that every time you click on the screen, the toolbar shows up and gives you what you need in the moment of inserting something, rather than more traditional text editors where the toolbar always sits at the top. And it has a few built-in event handlers as well that let you trigger functions when it initializes, or when a user clicks on one of the items that you've added, or when you press a button. Using this, I actually implemented the ability for a user to drag items around the screen after clicking on them. Now, that's all fine and simple, but what took a little bit more time was figuring how to make the Froala Whiteboard a real-time tool that could be collaborated on by multiple people at the same time. So to achieve this, I decided to use Google Firebase, which is a real-time NoSQL database, and deliver all of the content using Amazon S3. So to get each item that I added to the whiteboard to automatically upload to the database, then download onto every other user session currently active, I just had to install that SDK into my project and then use a few configurations, and I was ready to use Firebase. Now, this was my first experience with Firebase, and having predominantly used SQL databases in the past, I have to say it's pretty amazing being able to generate your data relationships on the fly. In SQL, you have to generate tables and columns and models and then create the relationships between those. Whereas with Firebase, you essentially just have to give it what's a file path, and it automatically generates the folders for you and sorts your data just like that. As part of the guide on Medium, there's also a section specifically on Firebase, which will walk you through exactly how to get started and ways to store your data. So you can find out more about that in the link in the description. Now, I had to add a little bit of logic to let the web app know when it should be downloading from Firebase and when it shouldn't. Essentially, I was faced with a problem where I would be typing something into a text box, it would update Firebase, and then it would immediately download that update into the same text box that I was typing in, and essentially make me lose my position and throw me out the text box, which wasn't very helpful. Now, there's probably a less verbose way to achieve what I did. It took a very hefty set of if statements to correctly redirect information. If you know any more efficient ways, please let me know in the comment section below. As for photo or video uploads, Froala comes through once again with built-in functionality to automatically upload any image into Amazon S3 for you. So the minute you put an image into an editor, it uploads it to S3, then takes the link to where that file is stored on S3 and passes it back into the editor. And with the Firebase setup that I have, that link then automatically gets pulled onto everybody else's computer as well, so everybody gets that image on everybody's computer. Now, configuring S3 for Froala took a little bit more work because you're essentially dealing with private API keys that you don't want anybody to get access to. That's your private stuff. So I had to build a backend server using express.js, which would compute an Amazon signature, which the front-end React application would retrieve and then use to send any images into S3. But to make matters easier, Froala include a built-in function that allows you to compute that signature in the backend. And yeah, that's the gist of it. Froala Editor comes with loads of customizable features, which mean that you can use it for pretty much any text-related purpose you can think of. I think my project took it a little bit outside of its comfort zone, but it still achieved stellar results and I got it to work very, very well. You can also use it for comment section boxes or to generate medium-style blog posts, and you can even use it to build websites. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day. And if you like, please hit subscribe, and you can put things in the comment section if you like. And yeah.